He actually started trading in university. There needs to be a structure to his approach in trading.
You suddenly get, very confident, thinking that you own the world. That ultimately it still boils down to risk management.
He had no trading knowledge at all and started placing trades on his own. And now he actually can use those trading profits to go on his little travels in overseas.
This really highlights lifelong learning in that sense.
So she actually didn't do very well at the start. So she made a lot of losses. Yeah, but she actually, persevered and started making consistent profits over time.
Trading is always a longer term game. It's a marathon. One of the key takeaways, learning is always the key. Once they are confident, then they can move on to the actual account. Use the profits to open more positions. That's why they are caught on the wrong footing.
We shared real stories, highlighted the importance of, mindset, learning, and having support. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Check the Charts with IG, the podcast where we explore trading strategies, market trends, and insights to help you trade smarter. I'm Jasmine, Premium Client Manager at IG, and joining me today is my fellow market analyst, Jun Rong. As Premium Client Managers, we work closely with a number of traders, and over the years, we've come across some really inspiring stories. Jun Rong, let's start with the first one.
Yes, for sure. Thanks so much, Jasmine. In today's episode, we'll be sharing inspiring trader story that really show how anyone, regardless of age, background, or experience, can really trade and thrive with the right mindset and tools. So Jasmine, personally, you have dealt with so many clients throughout your career. What are some of the client demographic that you would like to share with us today?
Yeah, so Jun Rong, let me just share with you a story about this trader that I know. He actually started trading in university. So basically, he was a young, driven guy, so was very aggressive in his trading at the start. But as you know, sometimes when market turns, that's where, losses starts occurring. He mentioned to me he started learning how to risk manage his trades. So initially, he was just very confident because his trades were going really well. And then after that, when markets turned, making significant losses, that's where he realized that there needs to be a structure to his approach in trading. So he actually went to read up on some risk management tools, educational resources to help him manage risk. So not to take too much risk, especially in margin trading. And that's where, he realized that, with such a structured approach and a plan to his trading, it made him be more consistent in his trades that he did. And then, overall, it made him a better trader because, his losses were kept to a minimum and his profits were actually more manageable in a sense.
Right. I think when you share this story, it's really very interesting because it leads me to think back about, personally, I also sort of started out in university as well. So it's sort of a similar demographic to the trader stories that you have shared. So initially, being young, there will be this urge. You want quick money. After a few winning trades, you suddenly get, very confident, thinking that you own the world, those kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the phenomena that probably young traders will experience. But eventually, I think it's a good point that you share that ultimately it still boils down to risk management. Yep. You could get lucky during the first few trades or when market is in your favor. For example, bull market, everyone in long will definitely earn a lot of money in that sense. Yeah, but ultimately when market turns, for example, this year, I think we are seeing a huge volatility with Trump's tariff. People start to question whether it's still a broader upward trend. Technical seems to suggest otherwise. So I think these are the periods where things get volatile and therefore risk management really play a more important role in this. So I think thank you so much for sharing these stories. But apart from young traders, is there any other traders, for example, a retiree that you have heard about?
Yeah, so I know of this retiree who used to be a technician. So he had no trading knowledge at all, zero trading knowledge. And he actually heard of trading from his friends. So with, a lot of time after retirement, right, he actually decided to start exploring trading. So, but he was unsure how to start because he has never traded before. So he went to read up on how to get started on trading, how to place trades on the platform, etc. And then he actually explored how to navigate it and started placing trades on his own. So what happened after that, it got him interested in placing trades because he started seeing fulfillment in that because he started making money. So little pockets money, or when retiree, you don't have any income already. So but then he started realizing that from trading he was able to get some pocket money, and now he actually can use those trading profits to go on his like little travels in overseas. So he's actually quite happy about it, and it also gives him like some things to do in his free time now, rather than when he retired he said he didn't know what to do. So yeah, now he looks at the platform daily to place trades, to earn that little pocket money that he says like copy money, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting story because usually when we think about retirees, I think dividend investing is always the thing that floats out, right? But what you have shared is that not just the old school dividend investing, some retirees also turn towards trading. You mentioned they have a lot of time, they have the capital. But of course, in this case, learning is still the key here. So you mentioned that he didn't really trade all the way throughout his younger terms. What's his occupation like?
So he was a technician.
He was a technician.
Yeah, he was like just so complete. Yeah, not in finance, so zero knowledge in trading.
So he learned from his friends.
Yeah. So explore also he learned that his friends were trading, and then like he decided to go into it. So he started with a small capital, and then he went to look at how to place trades on the platform, etc. And it was like easy to learn in that sense. So yeah, so he just started placing his first trade, and then that took off.
Yeah, I think this really highlights lifelong learning in that sense. Yeah, so retiring, find a new hobby in trading, I think that's definitely an interesting story.
Yeah.
In terms of, whenever they say about trading, there's always this misconception that is heavily dominated by male traders. But of course, in recent years, we have seen many successful female traders. So it's not just a sort of a male dominated kind of trading aspect, for example. So do you have anyone that that female that and how do they actually pick up trading and progress from there?
Yeah, so you're right to say, for trading, we always thought that it's like a male-dominated world kind of thing. But like things like a profession like engineering, for instance, we also would think that it's a male-dominated profession. But I personally know of a trader. She is actually an engineer, so already thriving in a male-dominated industry. And she used to actually do like blue chip shares. So invested in just like using her CPF. So she didn't do any trading on her side. But for her, she wanted to explore short-term trading. So she actually went into doing this kind of short-term margin trading. So initially at the start, no knowledge in trading. So she actually didn't do very well at the start. So she made a lot of losses. She didn't know how to read the charts. She didn't know like what other markets to trade, for instance. What she told me is that she decided to focus on a few markets that she's more familiar with. Because when she was doing like blue chip shares, so the nearest related market is like indices that she can look at, and even FX, because she was doing some FX currency conversion. So she decided to like just delve down into like focusing on just a couple of major markets, and then she started learning as she go along. So there will always be losses when it comes to trading, right? But it's how you actually get better by realizing where you are actually losing, like what you actually need to improve on. So she started picking up chart reading, for instance. Yes, yeah. So she actually told me that she did some indicators learning for the charts, and then she actually realized that it does help with her trading strategy. So with that, she built up her trading skills, and she, with this kind of trial and error, continuous learning, right, she actually started to be profitable. So from, starting losses, some people might just give up at that point, right? Yeah, but she actually, persevere, and with that kind of dedication, to, improving her trading skills, she actually started, to be consistent in her trading and started making consistent profits over time. Yeah.
So I think a very interesting lesson that I think we can learn is that trading is always a longer term game. It's a marathon. So like you mentioned, starting there are bound to be losses. When you are starting out. But I think the important thing here is whether are you able to stay on for another day. If your account were to face some losses. Because I think many traders, when they face a lot of losses, their account blown up, that's when they put an end to their trading journey, they give up. But eventually, traders are in, I would say, for the longer haul. It's really about trying to keep the longer term horizon and trying to really protect your capital in that sense. So I think it's kind of a very inspiring stories for how, I presume that she's not in the finance.
Yeah, she's not. So she's doing engineering, and she's a female. So it doesn't mean that only male are good traders. Female can actually be good traders also, with dedication, as long as they're committed to learning, female can also take risks, So it's really, how you want to improve. I wouldn't say that, trading is for male specifically.
So I think you mentioned that she actually pick up chart reading on her own.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so I think that's very inspiring for sure. And hopefully, they turn to some IG website, because for IG, we actually provide some educational tools for clients as well who really want to pick out, not just in terms of chart reading, but also in terms of risk management, position sizing, and also some of the market analysis piece, which, for traders who are really starting out, I think these are some of the tools that IG provide.
Yeah. Correct. So, as you mentioned, there's tools on the IG platform. So, I think what clients can actually get started if they are not aware of, how to get started is with all the on-demand, webinars that we have. There's also IG Academy, for instance, where they can actually look through the courses online, how to start their first trading, how to read the charts, for instance. These are all there. So, it's actually, there's a wide range of resources that, people can just go and refer to actually get started and, to get information from.
At IG, we've designed a CFD platform that puts you in control. Fast, intuitive, and tailored to your trading needs. Whether it's Forex, indices, or commodities, IG offers CFDs that let you trade on price movements without owning the underlying assets. Opening a CFD account is quick and easy. Ready to start trading smarter? Visit IG.com today and experience CFD trading with a trusted world leader.
Yeah, so you have shared 3 very different demographics of traders, from a young university traders to one who is a retiree. Those are like different spectrum of the, And last but not least, you also shared on a female trader. But I think one of the key takeaway that I have from all these 3 clients is that learning is always the key. So all of them, when they start out, they're bound to be, them entering into this unknown. Yeah. But thereafter, this is where, they start to pick up some of the things along the way, maybe through education, through picking up some of these skills like chart reading, through risk management in the case of the young traders. So I think eventually, that's where they've managed to find their own success after a sort of a learning process in that sense. So I think it's really important that probably not to overexpose, not to over-leverage at the start for newer traders who are starting out. And at IG, we actually provide demo accounts where traders can really start to explore some of their trading strategies. And once they are confident that they have a good trading strategy that brings them consistent profitability, then they can move on to the actual account. Okay. So I think a demo account is definitely something that new traders who are starting out can explore. And I think last but not least, it also boils back down to not just in terms of knowledge, but risk management. I think in the case of the young traders, probably applies to all spectrum of traders as well, where if you're earning money, there's this tendency that you want to go more aggressive.
Yes, correct. Double down,
yes. Or using, like you mentioned, the young traders use the profits to open more position in that sense. So when things starts to unwind, that's where they are caught on the wrong footing. So gelling all of these together, education, risk management, I think these are very important things for traders to take note.
Yeah, okay. To sum up today's episode, basically, we shared real stories from everyday people who started trading with like different trading backgrounds. We've highlighted the importance of, mindset, learning, and having support basically in trading. So we've shown how, our IG platform can help traders at every step of their trading journey.
And if you ever wondered whether trading is something you can do, of course the answer is yes. Don't forget to subscribe to Check the Charts with IG and check out our trading resources at ig.com/sg. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.